is going down, YouTube? For some reason, this video, the only sound I caught was on these ball slams, right? So this is Friday. This is my first weighted session of the week. I'm starting the routine off with ball slams because ball slams are a great way to excite the nervous system, fire up the fast twitch motor units, which is super important when training for strength, right? Something I typically neglect on my strength days. I don't do anything high motor unit recruitment. So I started off with just a set of 12 ball slams. Then instead of getting into my normal pull to muscle ups here, I just decided to go for 5 body weight chest to bar pull-ups. Now this is Friday's workout, right? This is the workout that I was supposed to do on Monday for my weighted session, right? For my 1 rep max training. And I ended up trying to train this exact session on Wednesday. Remember, Monday session I was in the park with that high volume routine. Tuesday I just did that active recovery work. So Wednesday I tried to hit these top sets on weighted pulls and weighted dips, and it did not go as planned. I failed on everything. I failed on this pull set, which is what you're going to see here. And this is my top set right now, 97.5 pounds. When I attempted this on Wednesday, I couldn't even get my eyes over the bar. So yesterday, Thursday, was a leg day, but it was a low volume, low stress leg day. I did belt squats, cable Romanian deadlifts, and just leg extension and leg curls on the machine. So the 97.5 pounds for that first set, I got my chin to the bar, so it was a much better set right there. And I decided to, against the plan, I decided to try it again. Typically, my coach, Matthew Zide, only wants me to do 1 top set and then back offs. But I wanted to get that 97.5 to make up for the work that I messed up on Wednesday. So I went for it 2 times, and both times I was able to get my chin just to clearing the bar. And then we got the back off sets of pulls, guys. I'm supposed to do 3 back off sets. I feel like the back off sets of pulls fatigue me too much for the weighted dip work, so I decided to just do 1 back off set here before I went into the weighted pulls. And this is 62.5 pounds for 5 dead stop reps, and I managed to get my chin over every single rep. Now, like I said, when I get into the dips after all that heavy pull, I feel fatigued. I did my warm-up dip sets, and this is my last build-up set, 135, which is my typical last warm-up set. I catch that for 1, and even that 1 rep right there at the 135 was feeling a little heavy. Now, the top set on pulls, which is what I'm getting into right now, 172.5 pounds. I got 3 45-pound plates, 1 35-pound plate, and a 2.5. When I attempted this on Wednesday, when I went down into the bottom of the rep, I didn't even come back up, right? The weight just literally took me straight to the floor. I couldn't even attempt to reverse the weight into the concentric, right? So, like I said, yesterday was a full upper body rest day, and this is my second day attempting this 172.5. And you're going to see here, guys, I catch the rep, but it's an extreme grinding rep, right? RIR 0, RPE 10 here. But you can see I hit nice depth. I'm able to reverse it up, but that grind on the top for that lockout is very difficult. But I catch it, guys. So typically, again, for dips, he wants me to do 3 back off sets. That 1 top set is super fatiguing, right? So I decided to just do 2 back off sets here. But now I do a little bit of extra work. So my back off sets are programmed for 120. So it's the 120 pounds for dead stop reps, which I hit pretty smoothly. They were tough, of course, because, again, that 170 was such a grind. It places so much fatigue and stress on the nervous system. But I decided to go back into the pulls now. So I dropped some weight down right now. Remember, I have 120 pounds strapped on here for my dip set. So I dropped the weight down to 70 pounds, which is still way more than my top set, or my back off set should have been for the pulls, right? Remember, I only hit the 1 back off set at 62.5 pounds. So now as a superset, I say, F it. Let's just go for a 70-pound set, see how many reps we can catch. Now, the 70 pounds, again, I got fatigue from the pulls already. I got fatigue from the dips. When you grind a hard rep like that, 172-pound dip, it's not just taxing on the chest. It's taxing on the entire body, right? The nervous system takes a big hit. So I'm able to manage a few reps here at the 70-pound back or 70-pound superset for that matter. But they're hard reps here. I think I only catch 2, right? 1, 2. Do I go for the third? No. I decided to cap it at 2 reps here, guys. So now we're back to the second back off set. Now I'm resting 5 minutes after that pull-up set before I go back into my second back off set of dips. And this 120 moves a little bit better because now I'm getting a little bit more rested after, time's gone by since that 172.5 pound set. So I catch the 5. They're still tough, but they didn't feel as tough to me as the first set did, right? And then I said, F it, let's do another superset and we'll drop some more weight and get back on that pull-up bar. So we end up hitting a total of 3 pull back off sets, or 3 volume sets for pulls, right? Remember, I did the 1 back off set, which was programmed to 62.5. Then I did that last superset with the 70, and now I just strap on 50 pounds and decide to just rep it out as much as I can without going to extreme failure here. So 50 pounds for this last pull superset right after that 120-pound dips. And I catch a good 6 reps on this, I believe. Let's see what I end up catching. And instead of doing the dead stop reps, I decided to go continuous reps just to keep those motor units firing up. So 50 pounds here for the superset, chin over, chin over, chin over, easy. Chin over, 4. Dead stop, chin over, 5. And I pull out the 6th one, a nice tough 6 reps there to wrap up the weighted work. Now we're going to get into our accessories, right? This has been what I've really been enjoying too. Like, I love getting the dumbbell work in. I love the hypertrophy work. Like I said, the routine I did Monday, that high volume calisthenic work, the reps and sets, that's very fatiguing, but I love it, right? It's a lot of volume, it's a lot of time under tension. And that's the type of training that I enjoy way more than the weighted 1 rep max training. So this is a new weight for my chest supported dumbbell rows. This is PR weight as of late. So I got 70 pounds and I'm not going to failure here. I go for 3 sets of 8 with the 70 with a good, easy 2 reps in reserve each set here. So here's the second set. And a reason why I failed on that Wednesday workout when I tried to attempt the 97.5-pound pull on Wednesday and the 172.5 dip on Wednesday was because Monday's routine was super high volume, super fatiguing, right? And like the analogy I always say, if I'm runner A and my teammate's runner B and we're in different weight classes, but we're both number 1 in our weight classes or number 1 in the world runners, if I go on a 10-block run and he goes on a 20-block run, he's going to be more fatigued than me naturally, right? More volume equals more fatigue. So when I tried to attempt those heavy loads on Wednesday, my body was just too tired still, right? That's why Thursday, full rest day, and then we were back at it today. Now, I hit the 3 sets of chest-supported rows. I only filmed 2, just with it. I thought I was talking the whole time, guys. I didn't realize my mic was dead. That's why you still see me talking on some of these clips. So now we moved on to our first set of incline bench. Previously, when I hit the 70s, my best was 2 sets of 8. I really wanted to try to get 2 to 3 sets of 10 here. But you're going to see on this first set, I only end up catching 9. I go for the 10th rep on the first set, and I'm going to end up dropping the weight. So I catch a 9-rep set, which is still a volume PR for the 70, so I'm happy with the progress still. I've been jumping up in weight and reps every single, weight or reps for that matter, every single workout right now. And this is only my 3rd time touching the 70s. And that was my 10th rep attempt, and I decided to drop the weight. Rested a nice 4 minutes and go for it again. I only do 2 sets of the incline pressing. I did 3 sets of the chest-supported rows. But again, my chest took the most fatigue today from that 172.5-pound dip. But I managed to catch out another 70 pounds for 9 here, which again is a volume PR. Last time I touched this, which was Monday, before my weighted work, before my volume work in the park, I came to the gym and I filmed it. I did 2 sets of 8 with the 70. So hitting 2 sets of 9, again, like I said, it's still a PR. And I decided not to even try the 10th one because you can see how hard that 9th rep was there, guys. So dumbbell work is done now. Now I decided to do a little bit of bar work, burnout sets, because I didn't do my muscle ups for my warm-ups like I typically do. So now I do a little bar complex, right? 1 pull, 1 muscle up, 1 straight bar dip. And I try to get these for as many rounds as possible, which only ends up being 3 rounds of it, or 3 reps of it for that matter. Pull, muscle up, struggle up right there, dip, right? So I said, all right, 3s, I'm not going to put any more fatigue on the body. The nervous system is already going to get super stimulated. We don't want to overtrain, overwork, right? I kind of want to be fresh for Monday's session. So, and you can see I'm still here talking to you guys after the set, not realizing my mic had no volume going, that it died. So now we're going back into a superset, and this is specifically for our upper back and traps, right? I need to build some trap stability because when you're on the dip bar, what stabilizes the body is the upper back, the traps, the rhomboids, right? So, and this is actually a very good movement for me to be doing because of my elbow injury, which doesn't allow my right elbow to fully lock out, my right shoulder always wants to forwardly rotate in, especially on the dips, right? So I got to do movements that are going to train the back part of that muscle, right? So here we're doing chest-supported lying trap raises, or you could call them Ys, right? Similar to something you see me doing on the rings when I'm doing the Y pull-outs on the rings. And again, this is going to hit the back of the traps, the back of the shoulders, and it's going to help build stability in those muscles, right, which should translate over to being more stable on the dip bar. It'll also help with the pull, right, because remember, pull work is posterior chain work, right? So this is me just strengthening more muscles in the posterior chain, which should also help with my weighted pull work, right? That dead hang. Remember, when you're doing a pull-up, the first thing you do out of a dead hang is you go into a little bit of scap retraction. So all those muscles are working right there. But now we get into some ring work, right? So now we're going to get into more external rotation work, specifically targeting the rear delts, which again, super important for stabilizing. And I'm just demonstrating the ring Ys right there, right? So very, very similar to the lying trap raise that I was just doing in the Y position, you could also do ring Ys. But here I'm doing ring face pulls, right? With a nice external rotation and nice pause. I end up hitting 2 sets of this. I only film 1. I hit 2 sets of the lying trap raises. I only film 1, right? Because if with all the talking, this video would have been very long, but the video is not going to be that long now because I cut out a lot of shit of me talking in between sets that was unnecessary. So ring face pulls here with a nice pause on the top, really trying to engage those rear delts, feel those traps working and stabilizing the body. And again, this is a great hypertrophy movement, right? If you're trying to do like some specific shoulder work with your calisthenics, this is a movement that you should definitely be including into the program. And then we're going to finish off after this. I end up hitting 12 reps, nice 12 reps, good body control here, guys. And then after this, we finish off with some tricep and bicep work, right? So we start with the biceps. Remember, I'm doing a lot of weighted pull-ups, right? All pronated work, right? I'm not really getting any supinated work in. So dumbbell curls are going to get that supination action in, and it's also going to help train the elbows and strengthen the biceps, which again, your biceps are pretty much a main mover when you're doing pull-ups or any type of pulling exercise. So to isolate them a bit here, I had 40 pounds. I caught them for 8 on the first set. I do another set of 8 and then a drop set with the 30s after. And then some tricep push downs with the bar, which is going to specifically help strengthen the locked out position of the dip, which what you could see from my 172.5 pound attempt. I come out of the hole fine, but it's that lockout where I grind through it, right? So finishing off the routine with 2 sets of tricep push downs. I only film 1 here, guys, and I catch 15 reps. And this is how I wrapped up the routine, guys. Arm accessory work, and it was a pretty big overall high volume session, right? I ended up in the gym for almost 2 hours. Most of the time was between the pulls and the dips because the long breaks, but that's a wrap, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Sad story, I ain't here for a symphony, no sympathy. When I was on the bench, you wouldn't sit with me. Now I'm on the court and I'm balling, my time's coming.